my veins. Blue and one I red, white and blue in my brain. I'm Bulldog born. Bulldog, that's my breed.
Welcome everybody back for a special edition of Inside the Kennel podcast. Today we are looking at the side that we're going to select, not my side, not Mattie's side. It's the great Doug Hawkins team, the Dougie selected team. Dougie, welcome to this special edition of Inside the Kennel podcast. Sorry.
On you, Paul, Mattie. I'm looking forward to this game on Saturday night.
Oh, how good is this game? We are looking sharp, Doug. Can I just say, before we show your side, when we chatted about this season, the upcoming season in January with you, you felt really quite buoyant that if we made the top four, and you expect that we're with the cattle that we've got, that we would make it. If you said if we make it there, we've got a really good chance of going all the way. Has what's happened in the last 6 weeks or so, has that solidified your point of view, or do you think actually there's more question marks that have been raised since then?
Nothing changed, Matty, Paul. A lot of things change in my belief and what I think about this side this year under Luke Beveridge. I think this is probably one of the best lists that I've seen for a long, long time. I know the 97-98 under Terry Wallace, there was a very, very top 8 players were fantastic. Great players, those first 6 or 8 players in that era. I think 85, we had a very, very good side, which I think would match up all right with this side. I think if you want to compare blokes and positions, but this side that Luke Beveridge has this year is probably one of the most best balanced sides that I've seen at the club for a long time. Wow. And I mean that, and I reckon they'll make the top 4. I've got no doubt about that. People who don't put them in the top 4, they're fools. They're kidding themselves. We stay well in our midfield, and injuries don't occur to our on-ballers, particularly the Bont and obviously Libber and McRae, and then you chuck in Treloar, looks like he's ready to go, and the young boy number 6, Bailey Smith, can play footy as well. So if those boys get their hands on the footy first and they bang it in quickly and don't muck around with it, we have a forward line which is capable of kicking a high score. And not only taking mark after mark after mark, we have a side that's capable of kicking high scores. Trust me on that.
Dougie and Luke Beveridge was talking it up at the team jumper presentation night where he called the MCG a potential slaughterhouse. How did you like his rhetoric?
Yes. I love that. That's Bevo. That's Bevo at his aggressive best, and he can be that way. He loves his plays. He protects his players. That's a bit like Clarkson now down at North Melbourne. He's prepared to back and support his players. Bevo does that. Make no mistake about that. So let's do that. Let's go to all these grounds. Let's make it our slaughtering house. Let's make it uncomfortable for the opposition to be out. And he has a cattle to do it. No doubt about it.
So Doug, can it succeed with 4 tall players? Because I was looking through the history books, and there's teams that have had 2 champion full tall targets like a Dunstall and a Brereton, a Lockett and a Lowe. But to have 4, is there a chance that we can become a bit of a liability because the ball can be run out of the forward line too easily, or is this a genuine 4 targets that can rip the opposition apart?
Yeah, Matty. I think again, if these boys don't mark it, you need 1 or 2 ground level players, and particularly if the boy Waitman was up and about at the moment, he's injured. But what Riley West can bring along too, he'll tackle, chase, harass, and keep the footy in. He's good at that. He's great as defensive side of the game, and again, we got that much marking power. I think as long as they know not to get in each other's way, which can happen, but because of their ability to move around the forward line, they don't just stand there like not being rude to Gary Dempsey, who, by the way, is one of our greatest players ever. Dempsey would play a role as playing deep, but he'd play in that position. He wouldn't be up on half forward flank. He wouldn't be over here like Jamara can. Lob did that the other day against the Kangaroos. Norton gets around like a winger.
Yes.
And the boy Darcy, well, he's frightening. This kid is frightening. I'm glad we re-signed him, I think, for 2 years, didn't we? Did we or not?
Yeah, that's right.
That's a very good move by the club. This kid's going to be a star, Darcy's kid. Going to be fantastic. He's going to be a star. So as a winger, which I was, I don't muck around with the footy. I bang it in. I get it into these 4 blokes who can mark the footy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, don't row. I've been saying this for 2 or 3 years. If it becomes too congested, Norton, I know Norton can go back. We know Darcy can go back.
Yeah, right. Well, look, it's really exciting. So you're saying, look, our midfielders just have to get the ball in quickly, make sure that those 4 forwards separate, and it could be carnage. So I'm excited to hear that.
Matty, Paul, I know you trust me, 100%. You get that ball in quick to that marking power. Good luck to the opposition. Those backmen be walking down going, who do you want to play on? Oh, can I have Norton? Or hang on, why don't you take Lobb? See, Lobb might get the 3rd or 4th defender.
Right.
Rory Lobb. So he gets the 3rd or 4th defender. Good luck, because he can mark the footy.
Right.
And he's a nice kick for goal. So if he gets the 3rd or 4th, yeah.
How does Melbourne team up or match up against these players then? Because you imagine there's going to be such a tactical play here. If one of their tall defenders go to the bench, like Lever goes to the bench, suddenly we've got an incredible mismatch. If we get the right cattle on the field and we take the momentum swing, we could really see some damage happen.
Simon Goodwin, Mark Williams, good luck. Good luck. Let me tell you, good luck. You drop one of your tall defenders goes down and you've got to bring a substitute in or someone hasn't played down back much. Good luck.
Right.
Good luck, because we have that marking power, which I haven't seen at many clubs for a long, long time. Maybe yesterday when they had Van der Haar and Salmon, Madden went forward at times. They had 3 or 4 big options too, and that was hard to stop.
Right.
Back in the mid 80s. This is very much like that, or probably even
more dangerous. And you're talking about the mid 80s. Bombers won back-to-back 84-5. You're getting me excited, Doug.
Oh, Matty, you can read into it, Paul. You can read into what I'm reading and what we've seen. Mate, it is an exciting period for the Western Bulldogs. Make no mistake about that. And if any fool out there don't say we can't be top 4, they're kidding themselves.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna roll this team out, Matty. So, Dougie, you put a team together for us. Let's forensically look at it.
All right. So, Doug, you put your best 22 or best 23 out. So, I'll read out the back line. So, your back 6 are Caleb Daniel, Liam Jones, and you've gone Josh Bruce, Bailey Dale on the half back line with Keith and then Richards. That is a pretty formidable group. You've got the 3 talls there, Bruce, Jones, and Keith. Is that a wise decision to have 3 talls? We don't often do that.
Well, I think Liam Jones slotted back well, didn't he? I thought his performance against North Melbourne was very good. I think the Kangaroos are going to struggle, but we made him look ordinary, to be honest to you. He looked good, didn't he, Liam Jones? He didn't look like he missed a beat. It didn't look like he'd been playing at Currumbin down in Queensland for 12 months. Right. He slotted back in beautifully, and I thought he looked very, very good. Again, you got Bailey Dale and Caleb Daniel, the way they used the footy off half back, or the back line is very good. And the other bloke I thought was good, Alex Keith, looked like he was fitter. Yeah. Is that fair? Like he looked like he'd dropped a little bit of weight, and he looked fitter, and he just played the way that he looked. He played a lot better than, and we know that he's capable of playing as well. And the boy Richards gives you a run. Again, I think that back 6, I got no problem with that. That's very good for me.
Yeah, fantastic. And, you talked about the Dogs' tall forward line. Melbourne aren't short either. They've got Tom McDonald, they've got Bailey Fritsch, they've got, Big Benny Brown, and then they've got Max Gorn. So there's 4 talls there as well. So, both ends, there's some heavyweights there. So, perhaps I think you're wise to have Bruce as that 3rd tall player down there, because we're going to have to match up. Exactly.
Matty, you're right. Matty, Paul, you're right. And don't forget, and the other end for us, if we want to, we can chuck English forward.
Yeah.
He's able. We all know he can take a mark. We know it's a nice kick for goal. So Luke Beveridge should have that up his sleeve too, if he needs to, not go too top heavy, but if he, obviously with Lobb can go in the ruck, and guess what? English may not go off the ground. He'll go forward. Who are you going to put on him? Good luck, Melbourne. Good luck. Can't he? English can go forward. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. Dougie, your feelings on Nordo, you sort of made a prediction, not a prediction, but you felt like we should put him in the back. What do you still got that feeling around Nordo going back?
Well, I think Paul, if we need to make a change out of our forward line tall marking blokes, I think he's the one for me. This is just how I remember now. I think he come to us as a backman, if I can remember rightly, or you guys remember that, Paul, Matty?
Yeah, same as the back.
I think he came as a backman. I'm not saying that he's going to start there, but if things don't unfold correctly, I'd like to leave that kid there, Darcy, until he gets a few games under his belt, and Norton can go there, but Norton can even play up the ground. He can play at centre forward, can't he?
Yes.
Why couldn't Norton play at centre forward? He's good at ground level. Yeah, I'm not writing Norton off, Paul. I was playing forward, let me tell you right now.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the midfield then, shall we, Doug? So you've said your midfield is Bailey Smith on the wing, Libba in the middle, Adam Treloar on the other wing. So you've got two Jets on the outside, and you've got the hard-nosed Libba in the middle, and then your other three mids, Timmy English, as you mentioned, in the ruck with McRae and Bontempelli. That's six. Come on, Doug.
Where have I got Toby McLean, Matty?
You put him on the half-forward flank.
Half-forward flank, okay. You know what I want to do with him? You know what I want to do with him, Matty, Paul? I want to start him on the wing, on number 10 for Melbourne.
Right.
You remember you know who he is? Who wears
yeah,
number 10 for Melbourne?
Is it Lockie Hunter?
He used to wear number 7 for Footscray Western Bulldogs, Lockie Hunter. I'll send McLean to him and say, Lockie, hello.
Send McLean to get a haircut. Give him a haircut, Dougie.
We'll get him to get a haircut. I thought the kid was terrific against North Melbourne. McLean, I like him. Coming back from 2 new reconstructions. Tough, hard at it. I'd send him and say, mate, you're playing one-on-one. And just take him to the cleaners. That's what I'd do. You're not mates, are you? You're not mates anymore. When you cross the line, you're wearing a Melbourne jumper. I know you had great times together, and obviously most of those blokes played in premierships. A lot of those blokes played in premierships with Lockie. Well, he's playing the opposition now. Yeah. I'd make him feel very uncomfortable. And I reckon Bevo will.
Yeah, absolutely, you will. Oh, that's exciting. So look, that midfield's pretty impressive.
Yeah, terrific.
Roll McLean through there, as you say, and you just want to see them get the ball moving quickly, get it in this forward line. So your forward line is, and look at this. This is the land of the Giants. Ugle Hagan on the flank, Rory Lobb at centre half forward. You've got Toby McLean on the other flank, Sam Darcy in the pocket, Norton and Riley West. Come on, that's capable.
That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good forward line, isn't it? I mean, and what those blokes do bring, they do bring pressure too. They're not just all marking options. Their second and third effort's pretty good. And to have a bloke like West and McLean inside 50, it's a bit like, remember Clay Smith and Liam Pickett when they played forward for the Bulldogs back in 2016 and 15 and that sort of stuff. They brought that tackling and chasing and harassing. And the boy Dalhouse, he was very similar to that as well. This is what McLean and I reckon young West, that's why I like to see West in that 18 starting in the forward pocket. Because the kid's different to Waitman. Waitman goes for his marks. Waitman could have got in the way, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Young West one, he'll know his role. He'll be a ground level goal sneak and hanging around, sniffing anything that hits the deck. That'll be West and that'll be McLean.
You think there's a lack of speed there, though, Dougie? Normally, you'd like your pressure forwards to be a little quicker, or not? You think this is going to be on the ground all the time, though?
I think, Paul. I don't think with that marking power. Yeah. Just wait till Saturday night. I just reckon that marking power is going to cause a hell of a lot of problems, particularly get the ball in quickly. And again, one-on-one, their back line's going to be on an enormous amount of pressure. And again, if that ball goes to the deck. You know what West is like, don't you? He's a bit like his old man, like Scotty, just hard at the footy and head down and not scared. He's not scared. He has a crack. No, he's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we'll round off your team because you've got your bench here. It's hard to squeeze them in, isn't it, to 22 or 23 players with a list like we've got. But you've said Taylor DeRay on the bench with Bailey Williams, Anthony Scott, who's been a real surprise packet, and you've squeezed in Baker from Melbourne to face his old team with Jason Johannesson as the sub. So, wow, that's one heck of a team.
It is, Matty. Paul, Oscar Baker, number 13. He was okay against North. Who are the other ones on the bench that I have, Matty?
Yeah, you said Taylor DeRay, Bailey Williams, and Anthony Scott with JJ as the tactical sub.
Bit stiff, Bailey Williams. Number 34, correct? Got that right? Very stiff. Very stiff. I thought last year was very, very good. He could start in the back line. I mean, it wouldn't matter. Bailey Williams, 34. I think he's a very good player. That's how well we're travelling. We got a bloke who I think could play in our 18, and he's not in the 18. And then obviously Joe Hansen. Well, he hasn't played much, has he? He's been out injured a fair bit, hasn't he? And
yes, that's right. He's been out injured. He came and he played in our match sim on Wednesday, and apparently absolutely lit up the track.
Did he?
Kicked a few goals, played on the half forward line, and looked super sharp. So I think that's a wise move for you to put him as the sub. Come on fresh. He's speedy legs. And the experience. So what a wonderful player to have as your sub. And you've gone emergencies with Karmas, Crozier, and Mitch Hannon, who kicked 5 goals in the VFL the other day. So any one of those could jump up as well. So what an incredible team.
Yeah, I think Matty, Paul, before, at the start of this, I touched on this list. I think this is one of the best lists that we've had for a long, long time, and it's just so well balanced. Back six is really good at ground level, marking options as well. Of course, Garner, the boy's going to come back into that back line as well at some stage. And if the bot looks a lot fitter, doesn't he? Than he did last year. He played injured, and the other day against North Melbourne, the Rolls Royce, I call him. I called Chris Grant, I called Calvin Temple, and this bloke's a midfield Rolls Royce. So he looks like he's sharp and ready to go, which is just fantastic.
Looking in the paper the other day in the Herald Sun, Dougie, they had a whole lot of experts picking the Brownlow medalists for this year, and I think they had out of the 10, they had 3 that had the Bond as a possible Brownlow medalist this year, and I think this could be the year for him to take it out.
I think, Paul, I think you're on the money. I think if he stays stays fit, footy fit, he just looked like he's red sharp. What, he's 27 now, I don't reckon. I reckon he'll be 27 now. Probably starting to play his best footy. I reckon you play best footy to 25 to 30. He's ready to now start playing his best footy. And I think Liberatore's last couple of years have been outstanding. I love Bailey Smith. He's a great competitor, uses the ball very well, and he's tough. And the other boy from Collingwood, Treloar, he can play. He can play. Tell me if I've left anyone out. I don't know if I have, but that midfield is as good as anyone's midfield. So I'm excited because the midfield's going to get the ball in quick, and that boy Sam Darcy, watch out for him.
Yeah, well, I'm going to look out
for 5 games. He's played 5 games. It's going to be a start.
Unbelievable. And we're already talking him up, Doug. And and Doug, we actually put this to the Western Bulldogs fans themselves on the Western Bulldogs forum to pick their own round 1 team. And they've selected their best 23. Let's have a look at that. It's coming up on the screen now. You can see it's not too dissimilar to yours at all. Crozier, they've believed, should be the sub, and they've actually picked Cody Waitman. Now, it's really fanciful there. I think the doctors put a line through Cody, but Bulldog fans want him in. That's how much they love him. So in exchange for that, Josh Bruce misses out and Jason Johannisen from the fans' perspective. So not a lot of difference there. You've gone for a slightly taller team. And in your wisdom, you've actually selected JJ to fill in for Waitman, who's going to be sitting out. We expect him only to miss round 1. So Bulldog fans, get excited. He'll be back for the big round 2 clash against the Saints at Marvel. So thank you to everybody who voted. We actually had 7,000 people voted for this. So look at that for an incredibly strong team. So I guess, there's one more thing to say. The first 4 games of the season are going to be enormous. Not only are they enormous because, the fans get on board. And, if you're watching this and you're not excited, you should be, guys, and get on the phone and get your membership because, we need you there. But, wow, you don't want to miss out on a chance of seeing glory in September. We've got the Demons followed by the Saints, Lions and Tigers. How many of those games do you see us winning, Doug?
We can win 4 out of 4, Matty. No, I'm serious. We can win 4 out of 4. And all you Bulldogs supporters who ain't maybe members now, guess what? Jump on because we're going to have a great ride. We are going to have a great ride in 2023. Let me tell you right now. we are going to have a great ride. I can sit back. I haven't played now for 27 years. I'm going to sit back and watch this group put on a show. They're going to put on a show, this mob, and Luke Beveridge is going to let them play footy. Just let them roll along, and we're going to put on a show. So all you people out there, jump on the doggies, because it's going to be a real exciting year, and we can win our first 4 games. Don't worry about that.
Beautiful,
Good on
Doug.
you, Dougie.
Right. Well, everyone, get your red, white, and blue kit out. See you there on Saturday night.
Fired
Do
up.
not sit on the sofa and miss this one. Get down there, and and if you see Dougie, I'm sure Doug, you'll probably be giving us high fives. That's for sure.
100%, Matty, Paul. Good on you, boys.
Great work, Dougie. Thanks, mate.
Seems like a 12.
White in my veins, blue in my eye, red, white, and blue in my brain.